Yo, so Instagram did its favorite thing and it kicked us off at 1 hour exactly. So I just wanted to tie off some questions with Freddie. Thank you for joining us for everything. So, here we go. Let's get Freddie back on. I just want to tie everything up, say cheers properly, and not just cut it off like that. Instagram's doing your damn thing. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's does this thing. It's just like, yo, in 1 hour, and it doesn't even tell you far in advance. It's like 20 seconds, bro. You're like, dude,
It's so stupid.
dude, it's like, give me like 5 minutes, bro. It's just like, nah, man, you're out. Sorry, dude. So, yeah, man, let's just, I mean, let's kind of like finish things off. Grindhouse, what up, dog? Thanks for
That
joining me.
hour went by quick.
Damn, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Just
Yeah.
a quick one, Mo Groovy, can you post that question you had? I actually wanted to get to that before Instagram rudely interrupted us. Grindhouse, my man. I don't know if you know Mooij, Grindhouse, super sick dubstep producer actually, but he also does. Yeah, you're at the end. You're actually at the beginning of the second part because Instagram cut us off. So it did a damn thing. But Grindhouse, super amazing producer from
Hey, I'm gonna
SA.
spam my fucking release.
Do it. Do it. Get some spams going. Um, but so I'm gonna just repost this as well, just so we have both of this. Two things Mr. Two, homie. No problem. Much love. Smart hero, all that shit. Um, so Freddie, two questions before we finish up. First thing, you get some pretty decent advice the last time we chatted. Well, actually, me and Levi were chatting, and you were dropping some advice on number one is on avoiding writer's block. You had some interesting comments. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you had some good comments, man. I think there's different perspectives of how to deal with writer's block.
You have to like break the pattern that's blocking you. So like you have to get into a different mindset. This can be like for me, I like to just go outside, walk with my dogs, smoke a spliff or something like that. I like that because it relaxes me and I can focus when I sit down and it just everything else phases out. Like it's good to have a way to block out all of the shit that you're thinking about because it could be anything really. It could be
Yeah,
positive or it could be negative, but you're busy thinking of it instead of thinking of music. So in order for me to lock down on that, I kind of do that, like a little ritual or whatever, and then I start making music. Or like it'll be at the end of the day when I know nobody's gonna bother me because I don't want to think anything else and like and stuff like that. Like it just depends. Like everyone has to find their own zone. It's hard to be in the zone, man. And if I was in the zone like all the time, I would probably be at 100 tracks right now, but I'm not all the
yeah,
time. So it depends. Like when I'm on fire, I'll sit down and make a track like in one session. Like I'll make the 90% chunk of it, like, and then I'll know, oh, like the hard work's done. I'm happy, like, and stuff like that. Or it'll be like 7 hours and and I'll have an idea and I'll be like, okay, it's a good idea, but I have to work on it. Like
yeah,
it'll be different levels it depends too. Like it's always going to be different with each track. Like it'll never be like the same too. You have to consider as well, like to not force it, like because if
yeah,
it takes time, it takes time too. I
yeah.
have on the album, I have an idea that I wrote like a year ago. So like until now is when I just clicked and I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish it like this. I had actually also a track that I wrote like 3 years ago, and then I just had the break, and then I didn't have a drop. But then all of a sudden, I'm gonna do this as a drop, and it came like years after. But I saved it because it was good, and I was like, and you just have to like know that it's okay to that you're not, that you didn't finish anything. Although try to finish it, because that's
Yeah.
always a good thing. But it's okay to have some stuff that goes quickly and stuff that goes slowly because not everything's the same.
Yeah.
So like writer's block can be confused as that too. Like you probably think, oh man, like I can't write anything. Well, maybe just try something else different and save it and come back later and it'll come back later and it'll come when it'll come. It's, like it's just not gonna like you can't make it magically happen out of nowhere. You know, it'll just,
That's
and
a
it will, but that's the
that's an
funny
amazing
part. It
point.
will.
Yeah,
It will come magically out of nowhere, but you won't force it. It'll just come, and you won't be frustrated with thinking I have to do this, you know?
yeah, and that's a good point, man. It's like firstly to know that you're not writing music. Okay, look, you obviously want to write amazing music, but your intention of writing music shouldn't necessarily be, yo, I only want to write hits. It's like you're setting yourself up for failure. You should essentially be writing music. Look, you have to be realistic. If you're writing music for a living, you gotta deliver some certain aspect of quality, and you gotta do it in a timeless manner so you can make enough that you can actually make a living for it if that's what you choose to do. But the actual intention of art, I think personally, is like you actually have to enjoy the activity, man. Like actually writing music should be something to you like computer games is to others and to me as well. But the point is, it's like you're gonna like sitting down and writing music. If you don't like that activity itself, there's gonna be issues down the line, and you're gonna face those
That's
issues.
that's when people quit. When they don't make something that they don't like, and they just, and that's it. They get frustrated that way. A lot of some of my friends do that. Like they'll make something and they'll never progress because they won't like it and they'll stop right there instead of just
Yeah.
continue, let it happen. You're not fucking Picasso, you're not Skrillex, you know, it's all good. It's okay. I mean, the tracks that I started, if I think about them, I can guarantee they're dog shit right now. Like, and it's okay because I didn't know anything and I
Yeah.
started at zero, just like everyone else. So
Yeah.
like, it just depends on each. Also, it depends on that, and also how naturally it comes to you. Because a lot of people have that shit come like second nature, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are like struggling hard to like even come up with something decent, you know? So it's different levels and it's also a lottery. So like who knows? Like it could be you could be one of those people that sucks, man. And I'm sorry for that, you know? But that's life, bro. And that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
also, it
okay.
doesn't mean
It's
though, like
okay.
that's
You
the
could do
thing. It's
something
like it
else.
doesn't mean that it's like you can't get good. You know, like I've seen some amazingly shit people who started off, and I was like, bro, this is the worst. And then like 8 years later, because they consistently worked in years when I wasn't producing, or they just consistently finished songs, like you said, or they had the right intentions, they just kept producing. The next thing you know, they're trumping. Not that it's a competition, but like sometimes the quality of some people that when they started out was really bad, but they happen to be really hard workers, they got to like an amazingly intense level of quality because they just finished track after track. And then
That's
necessarily,
another point. That's
yeah,
another point. Practice makes perfect. And if you practice enough, you will get better, but you have to practice the right way.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
So,
it's 100% true. Mhm.
so Mo Groovy dropped a question. I'm looking to make natural sounding music with ginseng being an influencer. Any advice? I'm gonna let you answer this one, Freddie. Natural sounding music?
What's ginseng?
Yeah. Mo Groovy, can you drop us what ginseng is? And what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to answer it, but I'm not entirely sure what he means.
So, in terms of um,
Natural sound music, like natural as in natural instruments, or like humanizing music, like grooving it. I don't know, stuff like that, I guess.
I mean, organics. I mean, for me, if you mean like organic music, it could stem from just recording a lot of your own shit. Like a lot of people, especially in like the deep house scenes, or even in like the more techie stuff, when you hear like this almost quality that sits on the top, where you're like, "Damn, bro, how did he get this sound?" And then you realize it's him like scrunching a piece of plastic, or like, you know what I mean?
I always try to put an organic sound on my track
Yeah,
because everything digital kind of sounds weird. If you notice, like if you hear a track that's only got digital sounds and nothing really organic, like it just kind of sounds weird. Kind of like
yeah,
if you make a track with no vocal, you have to really make that track amazing because it'll sound weird if you don't. It'll sound empty. So like anything organic, like strings, piano, real instruments, that counts as organic. Like anything that's like in real life, like a sound like of a car door slamming shut, or anything like this, like that's natural in the world. It helps to like give another dimension to your track, like in another vibe, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the type of sounds that I actually started to use in like claps and stuff. You get like, there's actually a whole section on Splice called Found Sounds. Um, okay, so Mogravy replied, it's an artist. It's kind of like hippie, but organic sounds are definitely what I mean. Okay, I still don't quite get it. You know what she's talking about, man? Or he's talking about? Let's
I
see.
guess I kind of answered it with
Yeah,
organic
yeah, I mean,
sounds.
yeah.
Like, yes, use them all the time and try to incorporate them in the right way. And it's always good to have these, like, I, when you use a recording that's of a real sound, it's just gonna give life to that track in a way that's not gonna be produced with a digital track. It's not gonna give it that
Yeah.
real feel, you know, the organic feel, which is always good.
Yeah, I think layer organic with synthetic stuff. If you want to get a true balanced sound and not completely like sounds like someone just plugged in a bunch of synths and that's all they do. Which sometimes some people can get away with it because they've had years and years and years of practice. I mean, some of the techno gods, some of the old school guys who basically just have a set that's 909s with distortion loops and shit, and this is what they've done for like 20 years, man. You can do
Yeah.
that one thing for 20 years. It's like that Bruce Lee saying. It's like, I don't feel a guy who's practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I feel a guy who's practiced one kick 10,000 times. It's the same shit. Grandma's coming in, download a shit ton of Foley packs for the background of every song. There we go, man. That's exactly a great way to do it. Just put fucking people walking down the street from your house in your song,
I've
and every
I've been
song.
using I have been using birds a lot. Birds chirping
Shit.
in my
For
music.
progressive stuff?
Yeah, for like just creating. Yeah, I think so. It's mostly I apply it when progressive, like when I break down shit, and also like also in my new disco kind of stuff on an intro, I use like a airplane jet kind of thing taking off, shh, you know,
That's a good
stuff like
sound,
that
man.
that you know, and all these kinds of specific sounds that are real life. So like also have like a jungle kind of clip that I recorded off YouTube. I went into YouTube, I searched jungle sounds or jungle, yeah, just jungle sounds, and I found one that's like an hour long. I rewired it, the Ableton, the sound of the computer into Ableton, and then I recorded the YouTube video. Nowadays it's just I shouldn't have done that. Nowadays I should have just went to a downloader and just got the MP3 off of it directly. But
YouTube free.
yeah, just YouTube download, boom, there you go. And then
Yeah.
I grabbed those sounds, which is jungle sounds, which is like random insects and like cicadas and stuff like that, like sounds that you're never going to hear like here in the city, and create these atmospheres with these sounds like that you can find literally anywhere. These kinds of sounds, since they're like every day, you could go outside in your on the road, put your mic up there, and just kind of get an atmosphere of what you're
Totally,
looking
man.
for, you know?
Even on your phone, dude. You can do that on your phone, plug that straight in. I'm pretty sure you can get. But yeah, Mo Groovy, I'm stoked that we answered that. Thanks for joining us. And your grindhouse, dog. You gotta put some of you, Freddie, get some dog noises, man. Get
I
some
do.
dog.
I have a track. I have a track on my Cold World remix of Eight Graves. I have a track where I have a part in the track where there's a bark, but it's so blended in that it sounds like a hit. But I used
Yeah,
it.
that's the way, man. I wish I had a fucking dog here. Let's see what Grandma says. I find stuff like that, finding jungle sounds gives you an extra bit of positive psychology and makes you feel a lot better about your creation. Dude, totally. It's like you're adding a sense of, I mean, especially like, you get to those melodic sections of songs. I mean, actually, Grandma's also a super dope hardstyle DJ. Um, so I'm pretty sure, I don't know if hardstyle uses natural sound. I can kind of imagine they're like one of the most euphoric sounds. It's like uplifting sounds. Man.
It just creates a feeling when you hear these sound. Like when you, I also have like in my frequency EP on one of the tracks on the breakdown, on the right side I have the jungle sounds, and on the left side panned I have the sounds of the beach waves crashing. So
Yeah,
like I
jungle beats,
panned both
man.
of them. So that's what I did on my frequency EP on Overwood is the track. I think it's the first one, and you can hear it in the beginning and in the end of the track and in the breakdown. So when everything calms down, And also on the DNA remix, on the breakdown, on the long
Yeah,
breakdown, you can hear the birds.
it fucking ties it in, man. It ties it in because like you hear, and it doesn't like just cut in. It comes in smoothly, and you have this like really deep melody,
You don't even
and
have
it's
to
just
do
like
anything. You just put it there and you just mix it accordingly. It's not really hard because all of these sounds are happening naturally. So
yeah,
there's no really like putting anywhere perfectly. You just put it there and it happens, you know?
yeah.
Hmm.
Shout out to Cornelius for joining in, my man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everyone for joining in. Homie, let's slowly tie things up. If you were to give one piece of production, like a production technique that is seemingly so simple, but it changed the game for you.
Um, Seemingly so simple, that's probably overlooked. Put your frequencies, your sub frequencies in mono in all the groups. Because all in like if you have groups, melodic groups, bass groups, and drum groups, you might want to add dimension to some of these sounds, and you most likely will do. So what I do when I have a project opened up, it automatically loads up a multi-band imager, and I select 250 hertz and below, and I make all of those frequency mono, and everything put on. So that's what I do, and every time I load up a project, it's there
Yeah,
already. So there's no, like I've started even like putting dimension on like claps and stuff like this, so like they're wide as fuck and stuff like that. So like I even put it in my drums and in my effects too, because a lot of times in even the melodic groups, even if it's considered a mid high frequencies, there's a lot of subs. Well, not a lot, but there will be mid sub frequencies that could be set to mono that'll just tighten everything up. And I
yeah,
consider it 250 hertz. They usually say 130 or something like that, around that. But in my case, I like to do 250 just because anything below that, I feel like if you put dimension on it, kind of muddies everything up. So like I
yeah,
just like to keep everything synced into that monophase correctly,
yeah.
you know? And that's one thing I guess I could say because I've only started doing this meticulously about 3 years ago, so like quite recently, I guess. So, and I didn't do it before, and I didn't do it before across all groups. I only did it in the bass, and I didn't do it like that either. Like I would do it individually in some sounds until I decided to do it on all tracks.
Yeah. So you put it on the master chain, is what you're saying, or you put it on each group?
I put it on each group because, yeah, on each group. Not on the
Yeah,
master. On the master, I don't have anything on the master. That's
yeah,
another thing. There's another extra tip. Don't put shit on the master. Maybe just a limiter so you don't fuck shit up when you over when you put too much volume on stuff. But don't put anything on the master, and that'll make your shit sound better because a lot of people put these compressors and these filters and these exciters and stuff like that to make the sound brighter and better. But if you're doing that, then you're not really listening to what's really happening, and you want to know what's really happening all the time, in my opinion. So that's
yeah.
why I don't like to put anything on the master. And then later, when you're done, put whatever you want on it.
There we go, man. Shout out for that. Shout out for Psycho Keaton, Grandma House with all the feedback, man. That's really, really cool. And it's true, man. These like little small things put mono shit out under 250. A lot of people would be like, nah, bro, it doesn't do shit. But you know, it's one thing that you found that works with the style of music that you do, and you've seen such a massive improvement in your mixes. And I mean, not that your stuff was ever bad, but I mean, 1% improvement. Or, I mean, monoing would be more than 1%. That would be like quite a large amount. But any sort of improvement you personally see over your mix quality over the years, I mean, even if you're talking about like 5% better mixes per year, that's a huge amount, bro. And if you're finishing a lot of tracks in 2, 3 years, talking about a 15% better, I mean, you can't quantify it, but you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of hear the improvement in your tracks the more you finish stuff, the more you send it out. Um, classic. My face is totally invisible, dude. Straight up. All right, so let's wrap it up here. Last question from my side. Any advice to somebody who's starting out, just producing? What would you wish to have known when you were getting into the production game?
Don't release right away. because the shit that you put out might still stay up there. It's not good. I mean, if you want to keep a professional looking catalog and you want only top shit, you know, be patient, build your sound, wait at least 3 to 4 years, and then maybe start releasing.
True, true though, bro.
Straight up,
I mean, I
straight
don't
up.
know if everyone has that sort of patience, but that is such incredible advice. I mean, the amount of like you get like someone's first track as a demo, and you're like, bro, I really appreciate you sending it to me, but just take a reference song, put it over yours, and just see what you did. See what you did. See what you just sent me, man. And that's not even the bad things. You need to personally pay your dues. Not to me. You don't need to prove shit to me, but to yourself, you need to know. And it's actually, bro, this is the fucking thing. It's like there has to be a barrier for entry. People are like, no, bro. Everyone can do whatever they want. Yeah, they can, but to get to that 1%, you got to work your fucking ass off. And there's a reason, because skill cultivation is not easy, bro. You got to be in it for the right reasons. You got to fail. I mean, how many chefs make shitty ass meals and their girlfriend fucking hates them because they make some goddamn burnt boiled eggs until they get good, man? And that's the same with music. You can't just get to music, write amazing shit, and expect to be like, I'm gonna put out every single track on freaking Denmark's label, bro. Right now, fuck you if you don't like my tune. It's like, nah, bro.
People fool themselves. They fool themselves into like track because they made it themselves. So they're attached to it emotionally. So they're trying to push it, which is fine. But you have to know that you have to take a look at your music critically, and now you have to step outside and know that it's not good enough. And I know that my music was not good enough up until maybe, I don't know, recently, like a year or two ago, like even like
Yeah,
I was like I still made mistakes. Like I look back at the tracks that I released, and I know like maybe this EP is when I started to be at the same mindset that I am now. Like you have to just you have to know like that your shit's not good enough. And I did that mistake myself because I put up shit that I loved, and I loved it because I made it. I was like, yeah, this is dope. But I should have just been like, oh man, it's dope, but it's not good enough yet. Like this is not what I'm looking for to put out or
yeah,
show people that but at the time it was. And I guess at the time I was excited. But in hindsight, I think I should have just worked on the craft, obviously, and then released maybe later when I had a more definite sound, more because I had the opportunity. I changed distributors, and I had the opportunity to go back in my catalog and take out everything that I don't want. I called out artists that I shouldn't have signed and tracks that I shouldn't have released, and
mm-hmm.
I kept only the ones that have nostalgia to me, and I think are really dope for the time that we made it, and just for that reason only. And then now I only use the shit that I think is amazing, and that's the way it should be. But now I have a certain critique of my tracks, so it's not easy. So you have to
Yeah,
like, and this is what I'm talking about. Like you have to be demanding on yourself, and you have to know exactly what you're making. And I think like, and there's levels, and you have to recognize when you are at that level now, like as well. So like you have to know when you suck, and you have to know when you're good enough to put that shit out too. So like, it takes time and experience to know that.
dude, couldn't agree with you more. Grandma, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you being here. Ethan Tate, my man. What's up for joining? And Sides, what up, dog? We continuing, bro. Couldn't get enough of Mooij. Couldn't get enough. We're nearly hitting the 1 hour 30 mark, bro. I could speak to you for like 29 hours, bro. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us. Really, really value the work that you do. We value you as an artist on Ambious, so thank you so much. Could you just, I guess if anyone wants to check out more, you could just somehow follow him here, right? On this little screen. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess
I
people are
mean,
going to be watching later. Maybe drop some URLs and tags, bro.
here, like I'll just put I'll put my website there, and then you can just follow whatever your choice of social, and yeah, you
So
can find
how
my
do you
music
spell that for
everywhere.
the people who won't see the comments because the comments won't show up on the video after? How do you spell that? Mooij? So it's like
Eh,
everything at Mooij.
Mooj
Yeah.
dot audio. So that's the website, mooj dot audio. And then you can just Yeah, all my social links are there, and then you can listen to all music on YouTube and SoundCloud and Spotify and everywhere. So if you're looking for the music, just type in more music and you'll find it.
Yeah. Dude, that's where you can find Mooij, Mr. Freddie Mooij, all the way from Texas, the United States, Ambious Records artist. Very, very stoked to have you on board, man. Thanks again for joining us. And yeah, man, we'll keep in touch. Looking forward to more music from you coming soon.
Oh yeah, brother. Nice talking to you, bro.
All right, man. Thanks everyone for joining. We will see you again next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. And you'll be able to catch us on Facebook, Instagram Live. I think that's about it, and YouTube. And anyway, that's it from us. Peace.
Peace.